We all want our neighbourhoods to be safe. But from county lines drug gangs to people trafficking, a new breed of criminal is on the rise.
Open the door now!
And modern crimes demand a new way of policing. With hundreds of fresh recruits, Kent Police is getting younger. As public services hit breaking point, policing is harder than ever. Now we hear from the officers themselves, finding out what life as a cop is really like. In their own words, this is their story.
Trouble's going down in Medway, so I think it's time to play the sound of my people.
To protect the county's estimated 1.7 million residents, Kent Police have been on an unprecedented recruitment drive, with nearly 700 more police officers on the streets than this time 5 years ago.
What makes a good police officer is being able to understand people, being able to listen, being able to empathise with people, but also be robust when it comes to it. This job isn't for everyone.
If you call me a bitch again, you get nicked, as I told you last time.
This job will push you to your limits and beyond.
Yeah, we've actually got runners, mate. Yeah, we've got 2 males making off. Need to take us, stay where you are! Stay where you are!
It demands a lot of you, and you find it within yourself to be able to provide the best of you to the job.
New recruit Louise is in her first week on the front line and being tutored by Sam from the Medway local policing team.
Yeah, Louise hasn't done many blue lighting yet, so if she starts screaming, just don't worry about it.
I'm excited. I came to the police quite late in life. I'm 41 now. I've got 2 children under the age of 5 and a husband. A huge part of me wanting to work for the police was in order to help people. I've got quite a lot of life experience, and I'd say I've got quite a caring nature.
Louise hasn't yet had to make any arrests.
So it's come in as a domestic, so male on female.
Their next call-out is from a member of the public who has come across a distressed woman in the street.
Also, information that we received was that the male was trying to get her to go with him. Not sure if it's against her will, but she's gone with him after the incidents occurred. So we're going to get down there and see what we find.
Domestic abuse-related calls are every day. It's not a case of 1 per shift. It can quite easily be 7 or 8.
Last year, domestic abuse cases in Kent rose by nearly 10%.
I was shocked to actually be in a situation where I had access to knowing how many reports of domestic violence were coming in. It was a real eye-opener.
A male has now gone up an alleyway between 2 blocks of flats, but the female is still outside the shop with us.
Yeah, I think I've got the female here in sight. Hello, my dear, you all right?
The woman is still upset.
All right, tell me why you think we've been called. You can tell us what's happened. Eh?
What's happened?
Tell us.
Can we go away from here? Because they're all watching out.
Yeah,
Go on,
yeah,
no.
of course,
Of course we can. Let's get away from here, all right?
Sam and Louise moved the woman to the police car as a place of safety.
Well, I can see you've got some blood on the side of your neck there. Is that your blood? Just down here, darling. Yeah, just down here. Is that your blood, darling? When I was sitting with her in the car, and she was terrified. Has he hit you? You can tell me the truth. You don't. If he has, you do not deserve in any way, shape or form to be hit by anyone.
But I hit him.
That doesn't...
hit him back.
So you hit him back, so he has hit you.
Go ahead.
Reports are coming in that the male suspect is known to the police.
Got multiple warning signs for violence, kicking police officers, weapon, firearms, drugs. self-harm, officer safety, DA.
So now we've had more information come to light that we know who possibly the partner is, where the partner lives. It is very local to here.
One last crime report involving both was this year. Risk grading was high.
Yeah, received. Can I get another patrol to my location, please, then?
Every single job we go, we manage risk. And it's about understanding risk and looking at things such as people's previous to formulate just how much potential risk there could be.
All right, that's him. Right, what with the cap on?
All
right, don't worry.
He don't like the police, isn't it?
He's been absolutely fine, all right? Don't worry, don't worry.
It's going to kick off, isn't it? I know it.
Hello, mate. You all right?
Yeah, haven't really crime report ever.
What's your name, pal? Hey? Come on, Peter Bailey.
I'm, what?
OK.
I've done
Right.
nothing. Listen,
Right, listen,
all
listen,
night.
all
I
right?
know what you,
Listen,
allegation.
right, yeah, the allegation you've been assaulted. You've assaulted. You've assaulted.
No, look.
So at this moment, you're under arrest. Suspicion of
No,
common
no,
assault.
I've
You do
been
not have to
well,
say
I've been
anything.
well, I've been
We
well,
may harm
right.
defence. You do not mention when questioned something which you later learn in court.
Okay.
Anything you do say may be given in evidence, all right?
I've done nothing.
Necessity for arrest is for a prompt and effective investigation by means of questioning, OK? To prevent any further harm coming to any other person.
Because look at my
OK,
face.
all right, well, we're going to sort it out bit by bit, all right?
I wanted to get him in cuffs quickly for no other reason than safety.
She's been knocking on my
Right,
neighbour's
listen,
house going
listen.
mental because she's
Listen.
drunk out of her head.
Listen, listen.
I know.
Okay.
You go in there and fucking tell him what that fucking skanker's done.
All right, calm down.
A neighbour is unhappy with the man's arrest.
Something that fag. Can I have something that fag?
Mail's appeared. He's been detained. I could do with some more bodies, please.
Can I?
He didn't seem overly cooperative at first, so there's a risk to the victim, there's a risk to me, there's a risk to Louise. Louise is new. I hadn't built up a working partnership with Louise to understand what would happen if things went wrong. So ultimately, it leaves me one-on-one with this male that has previous and initial warning signs were that he wasn't going to be overly compliant.
Listen, can I get another car, all right? I'm just going to get another
I've done
car.
nothing.
All right.
Why is she not getting it?
OK,
She's
listen,
hit me, look
listen.
at mine.
All right.
We've got another
I want
team
a
coming.
cigarette as well, actually. I want my cigarette.
That's not going to help.
It is going to help me. Please.
Wait,
Come on,
hold
you
on.
can't actually deny me that. Please.
You've got to stay here, all right?
As the woman has not been arrested, Louise cannot force her to stay in the car.
Get back in the car.
I said, I told you.
I'm back in the car. Back in the
I
car.
haven't done nothing.
Back in the car.
No, I haven't.
Back in the car. Why? I didn't know. Please, come and
This incident was extremely complex. We had 2 allegations made by 2 parties, both of high risk, and 2 uncontrollable people all at the same time.
I haven't got to do anything.
Please get back in the car.
Babe! I want to go home.
I've done nothing wrong.
Right, so she's at you and all, yeah? Causing that
Yeah,
up, yeah?
I've not touched her. Like,
I ain't done nothing.
Right.
she's gonna
Louise?
CCTV me.
Louise, can you just arrest for common assault for now, please?
What? Right, yeah, you're going to be under arrest now.
Why?
For common assault.
For what?
Put your hands behind your back.
I haven't done
Put
nothing. I haven't done
Right,
nothing. You
stand
know.
up. It was quite tough because that was my first arrest.
Stand up against the window. I haven't done nothing.
It's in your interest.
Why are you doing it? Oh, just let me home.
The woman had previous for violence and was a risk and was in an emotive state. My biggest worry at the time was if something goes wrong with Louise, I have no way of being able to help out Louise as I have to keep control of the gen.
Can you please stand and face the window for me
Can you
now?
not arrest me then, please?
Look, we'll sort it out down the
Please.
station.
Oh, I've got to walk that
Stand
way.
up
Can you
against
walk that way?
Louise, get a cuff on.
I ain't done nothing.
Get a cuff on, get secure.
For how long? She's been walking around crying around.
Wow.
for how long?
Right, other hand behind your back and the small of your back. Right. You're under arrest for common assault. Give me the
Get in the
help.
car with her.
Stay in the car.
Sit in the car, stay in the car with her.
With both the man and woman now under arrest on suspicion of assault, Sam urgently needs backup to help.
Wasting taxpayers' money.
Stop it. Stop it.
The attitude changed, and that's when he became confrontational.
Why are you rushing me then?
No need, listen.
Calm yourself down now.
I ain't done nothing wrong, though. Don't squeeze me.
Well, then stop
whatever.
tensing and stop
Whatever.
moving around.
I'll take you down
Stop
to the...
tensing.
I'll take you
Stop
down.
tensing and moving around. You have to stay vigilant even when handcuffs are on. There's a potential to be head-butted, kicked, pushed, tripped even.
Well,
right?
I'm not. I just moved.
Stop it.
I moved.
Stop
that
it.
was all.
Stop it.
You're
Don't
on
threaten.
camera anyway.
Don't threaten.
I won't threaten. I'm warning you.
Don't threaten.
I'm warning.
Don't threaten.
No, he's going to be scraping up.
I'm warning you.
No, leave it.
He could have had a weapon, he could have had other friends round the corner. So I didn't really know what to do. Should I stay in the car with the female, which was the right thing to do?
There you go, yeah.
There you go.
Or should I go and help Sam?
There you go. You're leaning your head towards me. Right, 2 for 1. That patrol, hurry up, please.
I warned you. I didn't threaten. I warned you.
Yeah, and you made the motion towards. I've deemed that to gain the best control over this subject is for him to be on the floor. Yeah, it's quite easy to get headbutted and you're leaning your head towards me. I can use unarmed tactics to ensure that I've got control of him, which prevents me from getting injured, prevents him from getting injured, and prevents any form of escape or for members of the public to be hurt.
Stand there.
Oh, don't go.
Shut up,
Right?
you dickhead.
I was being very reasonable with you. You then change your tone, you start getting aggressive.
I said I didn't do nothing wrong.
Yes, mate. Right. It's been arrested for assault against a female. Hey, we'll roll this way. Right. Legs out, sit up on your bum. Marvellous. Action. All right. Cheers, guys.
Nothing can prepare you for what it's actually like being a police officer. I mean, I've been watching police programmes since I was 10, and you get this idea of what it's going to be like, and it's nothing like that. It's, you know, think about that and multiply it by 1,000. It's a lot harder.
Based on what the officer said, you need to be interviewed about the allegation that's been made. Okay, so I'm going to authorise your detention here so we can secure and preserve evidence and so we can interview you by questioning.
Even on the way to his cell, the man's behaviour is unpredictable.
Don't film me.
That was my first arrest that I made, and I didn't do another shift after that incident. That was the last shift that I worked.
He's going to be here till long.
I think it's the potential about what could have happened. Me really wanting this as a career, I had to sort of take a back seat over my family and my children. All right, here we go, down here.
I think Louise would have made a good police officer. She was very good at listening, very good at empathising, and that's why it's a shame. She could have helped a lot of people, but just not in the role that we do.
Get your blanket down, get your pillow down. Right, there's your blanket. To anyone that criticises the police, like, do a shift. Look after yourself. I hope to never see you again in the nicest way possible. Not in the bad way. Exactly. See you later. Take care. What I experienced in my time working at Medway was a group of really lovely, caring, bright young people that are going out every day and putting their lives at risk to look after you and your families. And that's incredible.
As neither the man nor the woman wished to make a statement against their partner, they were both later released without charge, with a referral to social services.
Can you mark up Pier Road, please?
23-year-old criminology graduate Jessie is 21 months into her career as a police officer.
I've learnt, right, you can eat whilst you're on a flash run. Yeah. But drinking is a whole new...
Yeah, no, you can't do that.
You have to time it really well, like... Now.
Crewmate Matt followed in his father's footsteps and joined Kent Police 8 years ago.
Oh, I know. It's not made for speeding down here, is it? The best thing about being a police officer is, I don't want to sound cringy, but I do think it's when you do a good job and you meet people in places that you would never meet people and making them feel better in that 10 minutes, an hour that you spend with them. I think that's the most rewarding part.
As part of the Medway local policing team, they're first to respond to some of the 2,000 calls that come into the control room each day.
They have children in the house. The male knocked on the door, informant opened it, male's tried to push his way in. That way. That way, that way. But they don't know who the male is.
It's a bit weird.
A family are struggling to keep an unknown intruder from forcing his way into their home.
Is he still there now?
Apparently.
You know, the old saying, man's house is his castle sort of thing. It is. It's the fact that it's the place you go at the end of the day. You shut the door, you lock the door, and that's it. It's your little bubble. And for an unknown person to come into your home, you know, where you live, where your children could live, yeah, it's very traumatic to happen.
Is this right road, yeah?
Yeah. I'm almost sure. I presume it's going to be this one. Oh, there's two people here. It's the police. There is someone's shoe here, guys. It's all right. That's okay.
Hey there.
This person's shoe, is it yours? Don't pick it up.
The intruder has vanished, but left behind a shoe.
So strange, I can't believe what's happened. I opened the door, we heard a knock once, and I thought it was the kids coming downstairs. And then he knocked again on the glass. And I went to open the door, and he looked a bit out of his face, as if he was on something, and he lifted his foot up to come in the door, and I went, no. Yeah. Tried to push as hard as I could, and all three of us were pushing.
Was he still?
He was resisting, yeah.
Well, did he say anything to you?
No, nothing.
It's really scary to think that someone is trying to get in your house. It can cause a lot of anxiety for people, and I do really understand that, and I do care. I think burglary's one of the worst things to happen.
At first, what was that? Like, who could it be? Answer the door and then sheer panic, to be honest. It's such a quiet road. Usually I've never had any dealings like this before. This is the first.
Right, we shut the door, lock it behind you.
Yep.
I'm going to go for a little walk around.
Yep.
See if I can find him.
Lock your door. I will knock and you'll know it to be me. I'm coming back. Promise. There's a man sitting up there. Shall I see if he's seen anyone run past?
Where?
Man sitting up in his balcony. Keep going back. Excuse me, mate. Haven't seen anyone run past at all. Right, OK. If you see anyone running around with one shoe on, can you ring the police, please? One shoe, one white trainer. Perfect, thank you.
A team of police officers are helping Matt and Jessie to search for the suspect.
There's a chappie down there. Has he got one shoe on?
Oh, yeah, he's walking a dog.
Dog.
At the end of the road,
I feel like I just saw someone running.
there's a sighting.
There is a man there. I see him. What way did he come from? From Wakely Road.
Base of Wakely Road. We did a spin around, and then we saw this man, matched beard, no shoes on.
Where's his other shoes?
Don't know.
When I first saw him, he was very delirious, like he was very not with it, and that could be a number of reasons. It could be drunk, drugs, mental health, anything like that. It was either a crisis of some sort or just a really strange incident. Where's your shoes, mate?
I forgot my girlfriend.
You forgot your girlfriend? All right, where's your shoes?
I told you. I forgot my girlfriend.
It's not often that some person's shoe is stuck in your door and then around the corner someone's walking shoeless. Don't get me wrong, it can happen. We do live in a funny world, it can happen, but you do have to question it.
You got anything on you that's going to harm me, are you?
Police arrest the man on suspicion of attempted burglary.
Just let me check this now, I'll get a few details from myself.
All right, cool.
Officers will make CCTV inquiries to see if there is video evidence to place the suspect at the scene. Matt and Jesse go back to visit the victims and take a statement.
Well, we've arrested the chap with no shoes on running down the roads.
Brilliant.
I'm assuming it's probably him.
Yeah.
Feel quite shaky and scared at the moment.
How many kids have you got on this property?
4.
You're concerned that you've got children in the
Yeah,
house?
that's it, yeah. Yeah, for my children's safety and for my family's, really.
I think the important thing is, you know, it's your home. You should feel safe in your own home, and it's quite a despicable crime to actually invade someone's home and, you know, make them feel that way.
Like, my thing is he going to try and come back when, at some point? I know you've got him, but...
I don't think this was a planned thing. These things will have it. I think.
That's why.
I think you're just the lucky people he's picked on, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I would say nearly 100% of policing is keeping victims safe. You have to make sure when you leave that job that that victim either feels safe or understands what she needs to do or he needs to do to be safe. Obviously, you know, to keep the doors locked, windows locked. If someone was to come to the door again, make sure you ask them through the door who they are, and even keep the latch on. I think either way they would have sat up all night worrying about who's coming to the door. But if it's a 1% peace of mind, then I'm happy with that 1%.
Nice meeting you anyway.
Before Matt and Jesse can head back to the station, there's one more job to do.
Looking for a trainer.
Why not?
A white Lacoste trainer. See if we can see it hanging about anywhere. My thoughts are is that he didn't have the trainer on in the first place.
To be fair, actually, yeah, it's not a bad shout, really.
Because I don't think he would have been in the state.
Is that it?
Ah, correct.
Is that Lacoste? The back of the back?
Yeah, I think it had...
How do they get in there?
You'll have to climb over that little gap there.
You're little.
I'm not going in there. My thoughts were wrong. As I said it, we found the trainer.
Find out, people. Let's put that there for a second.
I was surprised that that's there because when we got to him, I don't even think he would have been able to bend down and take his shoe off. Do you know what I mean?
You probably didn't have it on him, you're never going to find it, Matt.
23, remember 23? 23.
Oh, that's how old I am. Are you that old? No.
No.
Swap it round a bit, add a few years.
32 next week, actually, some there. Where's the other shoe?
I don't know.
Let's say you lost the shoe.
I didn't have the shoe, you had the shoe. When I came back, you had the shoe.
Car's here. Send the car, send the car.
It's old age.
Despite circumstantial evidence and police suspicions, there was insufficient evidence to charge the suspect with attempted burglary.
It is really frustrating when you find out later on that they didn't get the outcome that they expected or maybe you expected. So you just got to think in that moment is you did everything in that time to make that person feel safe and to do the best investigation possible. You need to move on with it as well.
I'm PC Liana Teague and I work at Medway on response. I've been a police officer for almost 13 years. Nearly 10 years that has been at Medway. They call me Mother Teague. I think I'm probably one of the oldest people that still do this, on my team especially. My colleagues are now young enough to be my children. I think if you speak to some of my colleagues, they call me the mother of the team because I do tend to make sure that they're all okay and I will help them any way I can.
It's early November, and Liana is on duty with 24-year-old new recruit, Danny.
Keys was in shorts and flip-flops.
Shorts?
Yeah, shorts and flip-flops.
They've got their beer coat on, haven't they? I like working nights. I like the difference. People just out having a good time, and a lot of drunken people trying to make their way from place to place or to get home.
Sorry, I want to walk home, but my dad won't let me. Literally, one, two, tell him to go home.
He's been
told by the bouncers in the casino he can't go in.
Yeah.
And he needs to go.
Needs to go home.
Simple.
Right, just go home. If you've got a lift, get in the car.
And why do we spend our job doing nothing but parenting? We see part of life that people don't normally see. Being sick.
I don't want to see that.
Thanks, 49. Yeah, ahead of us.
You're right.
Cab 1513.
A tactical chunder. You're right though, yeah?
Pick up.
It's something quite disgusting to behold. Do you think maybe you should go home now?
This is on purpose. When it's not early, don't worry about me.
They make themselves sick so they can then carry on drinking and not end the night quite so soon. I think you need your bed, mate. Look after yourself, though, yeah?
Yeah, I will do. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, imagine doing that in the middle of the street. What is that? Oh,
go home, people, go home.
50 minutes later, having failed to take Liana's advice, crewmates Cassie and Ryan stop the same man and his two friends.
Right, you want to go home? We're just saying, just take him home, get away from the high street.
Ryan asked the CCTV control room to monitor the three drunk men to make sure that they leave the town.
They're walking towards Star Hill now.
Yeah, all received. Everybody, camera control.
It's a group of three being absolute idiots in the centre of the high street, down the middle of the road. The cameras won't be able to miss them.
Within minutes, the CCTV control room have an update.
Details where they legged it. I wonder if that's the dude that was sick who's been turfed out of a taxi.
Probably. Yeah, received. Yeah, go ahead of us. Yeah, Paddy, 3,000 vehicle while we're driving.
Are they sure it's the same three?
4-2, just confirm 100% the same set of lads.
Yes, sir, he's on the move, so I'll try and let you know where he goes.
Liana and Danny are also responding to the incident.
Drink driving.
Males got in a car, one of them's driving.
Right, let's have a look. I guarantee someone will be arrested every day in the county somewhere for drink driving. It's just an ongoing issue and a major problem.
Cassie and Ryan are first to find the suspected drink driver.
4-2, directly behind this vehicle with one motorbike in front. It's almost collided with a curb, central res.
More than 200 people die every year in the UK in a drink drive-related crash.
It's still collided almost again with another central res. We got any other assets available, please?
To avoid the risk of a pursuit, Ryan and Cassie want to get another police car in front of the suspected drink driver before they try and stop the vehicle.
4-2, this vehicle's still swerving. It's a near side indication. It's going to be next to White Lion once we're away from the High Street entrance, M2.
With another police car now travelling in convoy,
Right, they're not going to stop.
the team move to block the driver in.
Yeah, 4-2, this vehicle hasn't stopped for me. I've activated blue lights and sirens and it's not stopped. It's still continuing, stand by.
1-3, you get out. Get
Mate, turn the car off. Give me the key. Get out of the car. Get out of the car. Right, get out.
Get out the car now.
Right, come over here.
That's fine.
All right, mate, at the moment, you're arrested on suspicion of driving whilst unfit through drink or drugs, all right? You don't have to say anything, but, mate, on defence, if you're not mentioned when questioned, something which you later line in court. Do you understand why you've been arrested?
Yeah, of course.
OK. Had anything to drink?
Yeah, I've had a couple of drinks tonight, but...
Right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to film the whole fucking thing.
That's fine, you do that.
No, I haven't got...
You do now get people filming you and wanting you to retaliate or wanting a reaction from you, so you have to just be professional.
Are you a squaddy, by the way?
Listen, see that, right?
Are you a squaddy?
Regardless of everybody around you trying to make it worse for you.
The driver claims he was travelling home to the barracks around the corner.
Right, get away, go over here. No, you don't tell us what to do.
With the passengers becoming increasingly irate, Liana and Danny arrive to help the team deal with them.
Just turn around.
What is swearing? You're in a public place.
See it there? Right there.
Calm down.
No.
Calm down.
Look, ready? Oi, I'm going to show you a trick, yeah? Oi, I'm sweet. I'm sweet. Calm down.
You were the one puking on the high street. Alcohol generates most of our work. I think if alcohol was banned or made illegal, we'd probably be unemployed. Out the road! Get out the road! Right, we had this conversation in the high street when you were making yourself sick.
I don't know what you're fucking...
Policing can be very much acting like a parent. You should have gone home hours ago.
I'm getting back in the car.
Get your camera off me,
not bed. Fuck off.
I think sometimes treating them younger than what they are, OK, being a mother, and saying if you don't do this by the time I count to a certain number, then this is what's going to happen. I'm going to count to 5.
No, you ain't counting nothing, mate.
But you're the one that's been stupid. No, you go, leave him. No, you go. Just walk. You go. And it gives them time to reflect and think, actually, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go home. And it did work.
We just stay away from them for now. They're going to go. They're just getting a bit...
Right, all we need to do is just blow into that mouthpiece for us. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
The legal limit when driving is 35 micrograms of alcohol per 100 millilitres of breath.
OK, mate, you've blown 104 at the roadside, all right? Means you're nearly triple the limit, OK? So because of that, you're de-arrested for driving whilst unfit, but you're now arrested. The time is 43 minutes past midnight for driving whilst over the specified breath alcohol limit, all right?
It doesn't matter what job you do. You could turn around and tell us that you work for the royal family, or you could turn around and say that you're a celebrity. It does not matter. If you're drink driving, there's only one way that's going, and that's into custody. You all right? I've got you. Yeah, I've got you.
The driver provides an evidential breath test in custody, which shows he is still over double the drink-drive limit.
He will be staying here overnight. He'll need to sober up before he's released in the morning, and then it will go from there. It will be in the hands of the court as to what they decide might happen.
Come on, mate.
At court, the man pleaded guilty to drink driving. He was given a 14-month driving ban and had to pay a total of £442 in fines and court costs. Commonly known as the Garden of England, Kent's fertile farmland and picturesque countryside is home to many rural neighbourhoods. But there's an ever-increasing threat to their land. Illegally dumped rubbish.
It's filled with waste, woods and tiles.
Local authorities in England dealt with over 1 million fly tipping incidents last year, a 16% increase on the year before.
Someone else has decided that they don't want their sofa anymore, and that's been dumped in here.
Waste crime costs the country's economy an estimated £1 billion a year.
It's not a tipper load, is it?
No, it's the back of someone's lorry, isn't it?
In a bid to tackle rural crime, Kent Police have a task force of specialist officers like Mark and Darren.
Well, this is a particular hotspot area for us here with for fly tipping. Occasionally we do find the odd gem of the person whose waste it was to start with, and then we will pay them a visit and obviously try and trace who's actually dumped it here.
Often we're going out to fly tips that completely block the road. Sometimes you get dangerous things being dumped like asbestos. You know, is an animal going to be injured by it? Are children going to be out here playing, going to be rummaging through all of these sharp bits of concrete? There's an empty tub of acid. If that gets into a watercourse, then that is potentially going to be devastating. It's disgusting, isn't it? There is so much money being made by people in organised crime groups, and the homeowners that have the waste cleared don't have any idea where it ends up.
Born on the Isle of Sheppey, Darren's lived in Kent his whole life.
I was born and raised on a farm, and then I left school and was a shepherd for 15, 16 years before I joined the police. I will photograph it as well. In my spare time, I like to go out for walks within the rural community. Obviously, being from that background, always observant of the changing of the seasons, the various wildlife. Being an officer on the Royal Task Force, I take great pride by that I'm actually able to protect some of that in my day-to-day role as a police officer.
One way the Rural Task Force are combating the surge in illegally dumped waste is by working with local councils. Operation Assist targets commercial vehicles transporting rubbish and scrap without the proper licences.
Because he's got no waste carriers, he's got obviously no waste transfer notices, so clearly one that we'd want to try and get stopped and prosecuted as well.
The way that Operation Assist works is that intelligence comes in from the local authority that we're working with on that day. If there are vehicles of interest to them, they'll get nominated to our ANPR system, and then we'll look to stop those vehicles as well as any other vehicles we suspect of carrying waste.
Hello, mate. How you doing? Have you got waste carriers licence? Yeah.
It just deters people from even entering into this sort of game. If they're going to flight it, there's a fair chance they're going to get stopped by us on one of these operations. Not the assist one.
He didn't pay his FPN, did he?
For today's operation, Darren and Mark have been joined by Julie, an environmental crime officer from Swale Borough Council.
We just had one of our target vehicles activate an ANPR camera just up the road from where we are now, so we're just trying to make a bit of progress, see if we can catch up with it, get it stopped, find out who's in it, and then obviously deal with any offences. Yeah, mate.
Well, I've got Julie in the back again. You didn't pay your fixed penalty, did you?
No, I didn't.
Records show the man doesn't have a waste carrier's licence and has already failed to pay one fixed penalty notice for that offence.
I'm not a rich man, Governor. I used to be a thief. I don't thief no one.
No, we know that. No one's accusing you of that. We will keep checking everybody that we suspect is carrying waste illegally.
Target boy trying to get a bit of straight bread.
But you've got to have all the right stuff.
We often see the same people time and time again.
No, mate.
I don't want to.
Yeah, we're trying to. And we're trying to resolve it here, aren't we? So.
Having failed to pay his fine, the man is at risk of the council seizing his lorry.
Let's not go down worst-case scenarios. Let's just deal with this.
If I could give us some kind of money, if I can, I've tried. I've made the phone calls. I have tried.
Ultimately,
I know I'm pushing me luck every day.
It's down to the council to decide how they're going to deal with it. Danny, come stand down here, mate. Just come stand down here out of the way. Let her get on with what she's doing, and then hopefully it will be a positive outcome. Because of what might be happening to him or the vehicle, that's obviously causing him to be a little bit more animated, so we just got to make sure that it doesn't escalate into something more serious. If we can deal with it here, we will do. He's previously been convicted of some quite serious offences in relation to a GBH, so if it does go the wrong way, then we're probably going to need to back up.
Yeah. Without that lorry, I can't do anything. Okay, right. So what do I do, darling? Do I spend the £400 to get the lorry right, and then so I can use the lorry to earn some more money, yeah, to pay your bills, yeah? Or do I say, no, fuck you, I'll pay the waste licence and leave the lorry stuck in the curb?
As we knew him, the main role that we wanted to do was to make sure that we could keep him as calm as possible.
No one took it on. Well, how the fuck am I I got it?
Danny.
How the fuck have I got it in place? You're starting to piss me off.
Mate, come on.
All right. You don't want to piss me off because I swear on my children I will flaps have my
Danny.
All right.
Listen.
You're not taking my lorry.
Listen.
Ain't happening.
Danny, listen.
I'm telling you that.
Danny,
You're not
listen.
taking my lorry.
Chill.
Take that lorry and I will go to prison today. Alison, or whatever your name is, I will give you some money. I will try my best to work with you. Yeah? You're not taking my family's bread and butter.
Danny, come and talk to me. Can you just have a word?
You want some money? I'll give you some.
Even having been a police officer for 23 years, every time you go out to work, you still wonder, am I going to get assaulted? Am I going to go back to my family?
All right, I'm trying, darling. Listen to me. You want me on my hands and knees? I'll get on my fucking hands and knees for you.
Listen.
All right, I'll break me back for you, but don't try and take me for a fool.
Danny, listen to me.
All right, listen.
He's going to speak to her. Danny.
We're play. You want to play? I'll play with you. And I'll play to the end of the world.
Danny, stop, mate.
You put your hands on me again, you're going to wish you never.
Danny,
I'm
listen.
nice you get
No, well, you need to listen to me then, mate, don't you?
I'll break me back for you, please. Thank you very much.
Chill out.
I'm telling you, Governor, I'll kiss your feet.
Danny,
I'll kiss your feet. I'll do anything.
You just need to calm down. Come here.
If you take it, come on, fuck.
Danny, come and speak to me. Just stay here with me.
Hello.
We're all trained to a high level. Some of us obviously carry equipment like tasers that will diffuse the situation. So on this occasion, we didn't have to use any of that equipment, and we just use our voice. You know, it's the simplest thing to do, but it can be the most effective.
No, it's not going to
It's not going to help your cause. If we have a scrap here,
my wife and children.
Yeah.
I can't say, babe, I can't beat
No, I know that. I get that, and that's why that is why we are trying to resolve it here.
£100 a day for the next 4 or 5 days. I'll find it.
That's going to be for the council to sort out, isn't it? Yeah. Let's not go. You've gone from that to that.
I don't want to go there.
Worst case scenario. Worst case scenario. Yeah. Well, I don't think she wants that.
The van provides his livelihood for his family, for his children. This was just before Christmas, so obviously an expensive time for many families. Ultimately, we're there to enforce the law, but it's managing the people, understanding where he's coming from, what's sort of concerning him, agitating him, and doing what we can to resolve it so that everything is dealt with.
Mark, Darren and Julie have come up with a solution.
Can I do it on a card?
Okay, listen,
Can I give you card
just stop for a second and listen to what I'm going to say before you ring your message. Right, the idea is I'm not going to seize your vehicle today, but the condition is if you can pay the £400 fine today, okay, that takes that part off the table.
The driver's wife agrees to pay the outstanding fine over the telephone.
Right, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere.
And the man is advised on how to get the right licences to keep working legally.
Phone's ringing with the money for you, look.
Whew, we all calm down now.
We're calming down.
That's
We're starting
both
to
of you.
laugh. We're starting to laugh now.
It was definitely the right result, the way that incident was dealt with. He still got prosecuted for the offences that he'd committed. He still gets to provide for his family by carrying on working, and we get to go home safe. So, all in all, it was a good result.
Oh! I think that is it. Yeah, if anyone else wants to stay, they're more than welcome to stay on their own. No, I've had enough.
Following this stop, the driver has successfully obtained a full waste carrier's licence.
Kent is an amazing county to live in and to work in, and it's got some amazing countryside. It makes me proud to think that I may have contributed to some of that countryside remaining as nice as it is.